Greetings and welcome to my neighborhood. My name is At1. A lot of things I could talk about. Move this up a little bit more. Yeah, so, I guess I want to get something distressing off my chest. The company that my insurance company contracts with to give me rides for like doctors, pharmacy, that medical area. And with 5 days notice, business days, they will give you a free ride and pay, and you drive home, and it's free. Like, each way from, point A to point B that's close, the fare is like over $150. So for my insurance company to be paying for these rides, like one time they even took me to Sacramento to see an orthopedic surgeon, and so they're doing a lot of good stuff. Feedback, you start with the good and then you end with the bad. The bad is, out of like, I don't know how many reservations I made, but I think it's around 8 or 10. And out of 8 reservations or so, 4 have not showed up. 4 didn't show up. And out of those 4, only 1 called me to say he wasn't coming. And so I already told Logisticare, an agent on the phone, that I'm going to stop using you. So I already filed a grievance with my insurance company, who basically employs Logisticare. It's Logisticare that contracts with various agencies like the taxi service around here. I filed agreements and I won the agreements. I don't know. There's no way I wouldn't. I mean, there's even the person on the phone said, "Yeah, damn, we did miss a ride." Like, yeah, I know that. I didn't say that. It's in some circles it's rude to say "I know." Like, if you ever say "I know," in my little brain, that's always disrespectful to some extent, or at least a sign of you're not listening that much. Because if you knew, then you wouldn't have to be told, right? I don't know, whatever. So you can see some. Do you see that? Yeah, you see that. It's some Foot Hardware. They want to keep my ankle at a 90-degree angle, or my foot and shin at a 90-degree angle. The say this is the ball of the foot. It's called the talus, I think, is inside the socket, and then you have that socket from the shin. Actually the knee was like, the foot. This is the foot. Okay, and then the joint is got tears in it, divots, basically. Like you punch the wall and there's something in the wall. That's one of those is in my ankle joint. So that's what's been causing the pain in the left side. I got grinding bones, and if you've never had grinding bones, you can't quite know what it's like. You can know what your pain is like, but I don't know if you could ever really, due to certain circumstances, like qualia. Is qualia unique or no? I don't know. Like, everyone has their own qualia, and then the big, like, conclusion or premise or whatever it is that qualia is not transferable. I think it might be with future technology. I don't think their arguments are like airtight. But see, then again, no arguments are really airtight because all the arguments depends on axioms and rules of inference. So it doesn't depend on language. Um, it does depend on what the axiom is. Turns out we only need one axiom at most. By if there's 100 axioms, we put it all together with a conjunction, and you get one axiom with like this and that axiom and that axiom. Um, so let me help you, get a grip of what's happening. You've probably heard of Euclidean and non-Euclidean geometry. Well, Euclidean geometric, geo means earth, and metric means measure. So basically, not literally, it means measuring out the earth, finding areas, finding lengths between things. What's crazy is the Greeks could find out that the world was round. The Greeks knew this. Wasn't Columbus to like discover that fact, So the Greeks knew that it was round, and they actually calculated its radius. Like, how would you do that? You're in Flatville right now, like me. I'm in Flatville with some hills, and like they proved that they found the radius of the Earth, like to an error of less than 500 miles. It's pretty amazing. A lot of math involved and logic, and yeah, they did it. They used I don't know exactly how they did it, but they did use a well that they built specifically to detect the movement of shadows and the shadow of the well. So as the sun would move over, the shadow would grow, and they carefully measured out some time. Like I don't know, maybe they took a measurement once a month. I don't know if they did, but they figured out the radius of the Earth. Like what I'm hoping for is that they figure out the maximal distance in our multiverse. There's a little difference, little distance between those two snaps in the multiverse. But if the question. Don't even get me going on multiverse. I think it's gotten. I think it's the hype is not real. I don't really. I can't say that though. I don't really know quantum mechanics. I've read about it in layman's books, but I don't really know it. So I'm not gonna say anything about it. But I don't think it's false or anything. It's just that the fact that it's counterintuitive is actually a good thing because it's counterintuitive to physicists, but to a mathematician who's like open to anything, as long as it's logical, or some logical, then we're all over that. There is no intuition. We don't use, um, that exclusively, although intuition is certainly a big part of it. Um, yeah. So, let's take a break for a second. I got two cats on the bed right there that way. I'm not gonna pan over because the pit is one pillow had coffee spilled on it, and I yanked the um, pillowcase off, and it's I wrung it out and put it in the dirty clothes. I don't care if the coffee stains it. A lot of this shit I don't care about, but I'm starting to care about like some stuff. It's like the mask is slowly coming off, you know, and people who didn't matter are starting to matter. Yeah, it I have a pretty unique relationship with someone. I'll just call them man. Um, Man, yeah, he can be very kind. He's just like me, except with more money. But basically, like a lot like me, except that when we were together, I um, didn't need a place to live. So I always like when it's down to that point, I shut up. Even if I want to keep going, I shut up. You know, even if I think I'm right and he's wrong, because we might debate about something like I don't know what, like oh you should have turned there, like you know I don't know something like that. He's always backseat driving. That's the thing. It's not bad though. 50% of the time it's actually helpful. Yeah, 50% then not helpful. Like I'm not gonna change the way I drive. Like you know, and but that's all. See, you don't like people you don't trust. That were like drive your car. You don't. Um, he has driven my car. He borrowed it. So you know, it's like I don't know. Um, Let me see if there's any fluids in here. What do you think? Schrodinger's cat experiment. There's tons of nuclear reactions going on right now, you know. But is it just air molecules or is there coffee in here or any fluid besides air? Well, down the hatch, I guess. Yeah. I actually got a bricklayer for this winter. I knew the power's gonna go out. Like it's like a given, pretty much. It may be out in March, but between now and March, power will lose power for sure. It might be planned loss, but we will lose, power. And I mean here locally where I live because once someone slides off the road and it's a power, not tower pole, power pole, um, we're out or without power. It's not like where I used to live or any city where you never have power out for more than like 30 minutes. It's always up by then. I remember the Loma Prieta earthquake in 1989 at 5:04 p.m. on October 17th, 1989. I believe. I'm not sure. I'm sure. Because that earthquake really scared the shit out of me. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in a 7.1 earthquake before, but like, but you know what's like that? It's like surfing in your house with your floor. Like that's your surfboard. Is the floor of your house and it's moving and a lot of people didn't survive. Like the Marina District, which is basically built on sand. It suffered the most damage, and I don't think they rebuild there. I mean, they'd have to they'd have to wait 30 years so they could sell it to the young crowd who doesn't know, never knew about the 1989 earthquake or something. I don't know. So I got two cats on the bed. I have my headphones in between them so they won't be tempted to fucking interact. Like, I'm breaking my rules. I have lots of rules. I'll tell you about my rules one day. I haven't numbered them, but I have rules that I'm like camera is number one, like nearly the number one priority, and so headphones are between them. This blanket on the bed. It's basically done. It's not. I mean, you don't see any. Oh yeah, you do. Never mind. I actually it look pretty much sucks. It's just a blanket. It's just flat. That's all you can say about it. It's flat. It's a solid color. Um, I unearthed some cool stuff today. Not yesterday. I mean, not today. Yesterday. These words are just tumbling right out, aren't they? These things. They're printouts, and I think they're pretty interesting. Um, like one of them, because the overall problem is to find a short, efficient formula that will perfectly predict every number in a sequence whose formula is recursive or whatever. Like one, it goes up by one every time the index. So the index is like if I equals 500, that means the 500th term in the sequence. So that 500 is called an index. It's just a number. It's like an address, actually, although it's a number. Oh yeah, numbers are addresses a lot of the time. So, you go. The index goes over, and then the graph goes, and it goes linearly, and then suddenly it's way out here, and then the next index, it's back to where it was, and back to where it was, and way over here, and then back to where it was, and I thought that sequence was really interesting, so I put it under my laser focused, mathematical prodigious, you know. I think I just randomly tried things, like, and then finally something got right. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. Like, I didn't really find you know, I forget which one it is, but yeah, it's, um, I mean, I guess I could take credit for it, but it kind of produced some pretty pictures and, pretty toes, and where we go. How much time we got left? We don't have any time left. Bummer.